Hello, I'm Chidiz and welcome to the AVE MARIA section for ModCon. In this video, we'll present our existing features as well as the newest additions for the mod. This last year has been quite hectic for us, with the delays of the Royal Code DLC that made a lot of features redundant, as well as the following major patch changes. That's why we decided to rewrite a lot of our features, and the mod code base has been under heavy refactoring for the past year. We came to the conclusion that in order to better maintain the mod, we had to split its features into several parts. Our features have thus been divided into separate branches, with the more prominent being Opus Rurarum Commodorum, or ORC for short, Hexaco, the Re Militari, our Islamic Empire rework branch, as well as the Roman Land branch. We have more separate branches on our GitLab, but for the sake of this presentation, those are the branches that regroup our biggest changes. Those branches are meant to be independent and work on their own, so any modder can fork them and reuse our changes as they will. This decision was not only made in order to promote better mod compatibility, but it is also much more convenient for us to test and isolate potentially game-breaking bugs. Let us start with a better and clearer presentation of our existing features, with our biggest change, the ORC features, divided into two branches: Every Baronia County and Communication Distance. The name of this feature, ORC, comes from a treatise on agriculture written by Pietro de Crescenzi in the 13th century. The biggest part of this feature is Every Baronia County. As the name suggests, we made every barony in the game its own county. In vanilla, barons are almost irrelevant to dynastic and role-playing gameplay by deliberate design. The way theocratically is made is not really faithful to a contextually accurate representation of Christianity for the period. So making each barony its own county allows for a flexible system, able to represent not only initial historical situation, but also dynamic changes. It can erase glaring mistakes with the vanilla county system, and does not require modifying the map to solve those issues. The history names of the base province can be modified accordingly if some errors are identified. To give several examples, with our setup, Otto de Bayeux, the brother of William the Conqueror, can be the bishop he was, instead of being a landless character in William's court as he is in vanilla. There can be a pope in Avignon, or small Crusader enclaves along the Near East coast. All this can be represented with our system. All in all, it also allows for a greater potential state base, meaning the possibilities available in the game. For the system to work, casus belli costs and claims have been adjusted as well as wars, which should be faster than before to avoid dragging them for too long. The next part of the ORC features are the communication efficiency mechanics. Every province owned by a ruler will have a malus applied to them based on their geographical distance to the ruler's capital. Taking into account terrain type, river, and sea travel, this communication efficiency malus will have an effect on the control you have on the province. So, faraway provinces will have bigger maluses and will not yield a lot of taxes nor levies. To offset this malus, you can improve your provinces by building road networks and ports, which should decrease the malus and its effects. Next, let us review the changes we made to the traits and personality traits. Vanilla Crusader Kings 3 personality traits are an improvement over the way they were implemented in Crusader Kings 2, which suffered from a lack of clear cohesiveness and durability. You could lose a personality trait according to different events. The limitation that is currently in Vanilla Crusader Kings 3 to 3 personality traits can sometimes be lacking in representing character personality. Even if it might be a stretch to apply a modern personality framework to a medieval context, we decided to implement the Hexaco system to Crusader Kings 3. The Hexaco psychology model of personality is a six-dimensional model of human personality that was created in the early 2000s. Following this model, each character will now have at least 6 personality traits from each category: honesty, humility, emotionality, extraversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness to experience. During the childhood, characters will acquire some of their personality traits, same as in vanilla. But coming of age, they will receive the rest of their hexaco trait based on the traits of their parents, as well as those of their educators. Let us now turn towards the array military features, which, as the name implies, concern our military work. For now, our changes are light, but we have plans for bigger changes in the future. Our current features add a military experience system, as well as new commander traits. First, at 16 and at the end of a children education, character receiving a martial education will no longer receive a vanilla commander trait, but might get one of our new commander traits if they excelled at their studies. During their life, after each battle, every character participating in the battle has a chance to gain battle experience and receive a veteran trait or improve the one he already has. So now there will be a difference between grizzled veteran knights and green boys. Commanders leading battle will also have a chance to improve their skill, and those with a humble personality as well as the cleverest one will of course improve the skills more quickly than others. Let us now turn our attention to the Islamic world and our Islamic Empire features. This part will be brief, as nothing much has changed since last year. Our Islamic rework draws heavily on the philosophy and work of Ibn Khaldun, the Arab sociologist, philosopher and historian, widely acknowledged to be one of the greatest social scientists of the Middle Ages. He made major contributions in the areas of historiography, sociology, economics and demography. More specifically, we are using his theory of power as a base for our features. Standard Islamic governments are separated into two types of government. The first government type is the Dawla type of government. It is the de facto government of Muslim states that have shed their tribal backgrounds to conform to the ideal sedentary state government founded on a monarchy, a central bureaucratic apparatus, and salaried armed forces. The only major change is the rework of our previously landless title system, which is now more tightly integrated with the court system. Additionally, leveraging the core system, and thanks to Torngasak, we also have implemented a governorship system, where you will be able to appoint provincial governors to oversee your empire's domain. Those governors, once appointed, should inherit the title of their province. The second type of Islamic government is the clan system, which is same as vanilla, but with an additional new mechanic. And this new mechanic is Asabiyya. Asabiyya is the bond of cohesion among humans in a group-forming community. It is the social solidarity with an emphasis on unity, group consciousness, and a sense of shared purpose and social cohesion. Familiar in pre-Islamic and Islamic era, in game terms, it provides various bonuses to rulers, maintaining their Asabiyya strong. It is reduced when the realm, capital, or different holdings of a character are not of the nomadic type, and Asabiyya can be increased through various events or traits, depending on your decisions. To conclude our features tour, let us now turn towards the Byzantine Empire, or as we should say, the Roman Empire, as that is what the people of the time calls themselves. This is the part of our features we had to overhaul the most due to the Royal Court DLC and subsequent patches. Mechanic-wise, we still have the concept of legitimacy and popularity from before. But similarly to our Islamic Empire features, we got rid of our landless title system and made extensive use of the court system and the salaried positions that we had to simulate ourselves before patch 1.5. Roman emperors will have access to two types of court positions. Military offices positions are the first category and represent the senior command positions in the armies of the Roman Empire. Holders of a military office are the only characters allowed to serve as commanders in the Roman military. Holders of these offices wield a great deal of control over the army and have the opportunity to increase their legitimacy and popularity in combat. Leaving these offices empty will have a negative effect on the legitimacy and popularity of the current basileus. The second category of court positions, dignities or civilian court positions, represent the senior posts in the civilian administration of the empire. They are required for the empire to run effectively, and therefore holders of these offices have significant control over the revenues of the states, with the opportunity to also affect the legitimacy and popularity of the current basileus. Leaving these offices empty will also have a negative effect on the legitimacy of the current basileus. Additionally, we also simplified the government types. The basileus still have the special government Roman, but now most of his vassals will be of the generic administrative government type, to simplify things. We also switched back to using the vanilla faction system for the various political groups surrounding the basileus, and greatly expanded it with new interest groups, such as the military aristocratic faction, the bureaucratic faction, the imperial family, and the eunuch, and the court eunuchs. So you will have to watch out and juggle between all those different factions during the course of your reign as an emperor. Regarding decisions and events, all the previous events have been ported as well as new ones, such as new activities like triumph, ceremonies, or hippodrome races. All in all, we hope all our changes will improve the game by introducing new contextually accurate mechanics. So for now, we are still finishing the mod refactoring and the new features, and we should publish our update very soon. Once that is done, we will tackle the next part of our roadmap, the feudal rework, so stay tuned for more.